Good morning, friends. A little over a year ago, we announced to you guys that in 18 months, we would be completely homeless. And honestly, the last year has flown by with so many awesome adventures. But that means that in just 6 months from now, we are giving up our apartment in LA so that we can adventure full time.
So exciting. What we didn't know is how the heck we were going to make that happen. Would we somehow get our jobs to be fully remote? Would we just leave our jobs and try to live on a bare bones budget? Would we find some kind of a part-time work? And you guys really chimed in, and we've spent the last year testing various scenarios and figuring it out. And now we are here with the answers.
So this past summer, as most of you will probably remember, we did a 6-week trial run traveling through Europe and just testing out our proposed early retirement budget of about $7,000 per month. It did not go well.
Well, the adventure part went very well.
Top notch. We killed that adventure.
We definitely did. Mont Blanc, Davenhorn, they were just Brighthorn. There were so many great adventures. But it was just more expensive than we had bargained for, right? I mean, car rental, gas, the toll roads were insane.
Those guys will get ya. You gotta be careful. If you go in the wrong lane trying to exit, they'll charge you like as if you had just traveled 10,000 miles on the toll road.
It's true. We dropped like $300 on tolls once when we went in the wrong toll lane coming out of Italy, and that cost us. And then we had to drive under Mont Blanc, remember? Isn't that like 80 bucks or something? 90 bucks?
Or 100, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Exorbitant.
And then the gondolas to get to certain trailheads in Switzerland, accommodations in Switzerland are very expensive.
Mountain huts can really start adding up.
Yeah. And so rather than the kind of $7,000 or $8,000 a month that we were sort of planning on, doing it in Europe is more like $10,000 or $11,000 a month.
Yeah.
It was quite expensive. Now, we're not planning on spending all of our time, obviously, adventuring in Europe, but that was sobering, to say the least.
Very eye-opening, for sure.
So last year we had a proposed yearly budget of about $84,000 a year. That would be about $7,000 a month. And we have had to revise that upwards to a minimum of probably $96,000. I think $8,000 a month is pretty realistic. Because you're going to have some that are more than that in Europe when you're just doing kind of crazy things. The problem is that a lot of that alpine stuff we want to do is in the most expensive countries.
I know. Yeah.
But there will also be times when we're in South America or we're in Nepal, things like that. Yeah. And that will be less expensive. And tons of stuff in America that will also be reasonably priced. And so overall, we think the budget of $8,000 a month is reasonable. That'd be about $96,000 a year. So the good news is that our passive income has also increased. We've saved quite diligently over the last year, and we projected income from dividends and interest of about $49,000 a year. It's actually going to be between $52,000 and $53,000. So that's good.
The other good news is we've actually been able to increase our YouTube income just a little bit, and really that is thanks to all of our amazing channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We've been having so much fun doing these member videos. If you haven't checked them out yet, come check them out. I think you'll love them, but
I think you will too. It's a great way to support the channel.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't looked at them yet, we're doing it every single week. And it's really, I mean, they're pretty long videos on all kinds of neat, nerdy hiking stuff.
Yeah.
The beta on our greatest hikes. What else have we done on?
Just inside scoop, day-to-day stuff that you wouldn't get to see otherwise.
Lots of training stuff, what we eat in a day, right?
And we take your requests. So if there's something you want us to talk about, come hang out with us on member videos.
Yeah. And so anyway, so combining that, which is about $700 a month, plus about $52,000 a year in other passive income, that gives us a base of about $60,000 a year going forward. And so there's a shortfall between the 96 and the 60 of about $36,000.
Just $36,000, that's it.
So the question is, how are we going to make that up? And you guys had some great suggestions last year And I think the two biggest that people sort of voted on and said, this is really what we would do based on our experience, is either make your job fully remote or do guided hikes, because obviously we have a lot of experience in a lot of places. And I thought those were both excellent ideas. And we've decided to do kind of a hybrid between the two, right?
We're doing both. So my super exciting news is that I talked with my work and they have agreed to let us go fully remote. I am feeling so grateful. They were so on board with our proposal, and basically the plan is I just need to be based in California just for my job, but that means that we can pretty much just move out to the Sierra and live at altitude and be fully acclimated for any sort of weekend shenanigans that we want to get up to. Like if we wanted to just fly up to Washington and do Mount Rainier, we'd be fully acclimated already. It's incredible.
Absolutely crucial. Crucial.
Yeah.
And that even goes for when we take our vacations and go to Europe. Because if we want to go try to do Matterhorn this summer, let's say, we would be already pre-acclimated. So we could just get there and just go.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes such a big difference of not having to take 4 or 5 days before you try to do any really hard mountain climb to acclimate first.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I am going to retire fully from my day job. And since we're going to be living in the Sierra, I'm going to focus my energies on getting some guiding certificates, a wilderness first responder certificate, and leading some guided hikes and climbs, which is definitely relevant to you guys because, of course, as subscribers, you guys will get a discount.
I know people have asked for it.
People have asked for it.
Yeah.
So that's something that's definitely going to be happening in the future. So I'm going to be chilling, adventuring, and then occasionally leading a guided climb, which I think will be wonderful.
It's a sweet life for sure.
It's going to be a good life.
So between those two things, we will definitely be covered for that $36,000 we needed. I mean, with me working full-time remote, I could work indefinitely. I love my job. It's amazing. I really have no problems working as long as I can be remote.
Yeah. And so now you might be saying, well, wait a minute. Now you guys are going to be saving too much money. What are you even going to do with all that? This is where we get to the last important point. So on this trip to Europe, we ran into lots of people who work as guides doing things like Everest expeditions and things like that. Those are really expensive. But a lot of you know that our long-term goal is to get into bigger and bigger mountains. I mean, obviously starting with things like Denali, but hopefully eventually leading to something like Everest.
Yeah.
And so you need to really put away some money for things like that, because an Everest expedition can be like $75,000 to $100,000 per person, which just sounds insane, but the guides explained it to us. There's a lot that kind of goes into it. But I think if we continue working and living relatively cheaply and living at altitude, so we're pre-acclimated and getting higher and higher mountains, this is not an unrealistic possibility. Not next year or the year after, but say 5 years from now.
So that means 6 months from now, we are leaving LA, we are going to be homeless, we'll be based in the Sierra, and that means this summer is going to be epic.
Oh my God. So California climbs like Russell, maybe the Palisades Traverse, so many great Sierra climbs. We're going to be right there, be able to do that kind of stuff every weekend, plus whatever strike missions we want to do in the West. I'm thinking Rainier for sure, Capitol Peak, Longs Peak, lots of Colorado climbing. Yeah, I mean, when you're pre-acclimated, just a long weekend, you can just get out there and do those mountains anytime.
So excited.
It's really exciting. And I want to say thank you guys so much for your thoughts last year. They really went a long way towards helping us get perspective on how we wanted to do this. And now that we have it, I could not be more excited.
So excited. As always, let us know what you guys think, and we will see you next time.
See you next time out on the trail.
Climbing higher, running faster, going farther. Two together,